Hello everyone. I hope everyone is fine and happy. Today I'm not necessarily using a headset as a mic. I'm not. So yeah. I know as normal you guys would see that I'd have a headset and yes, it's called a headset or earphones rather, as for sound to improve the sound. But then I saw that for me personally, if I could be if I can just speak and there's no background noise because I was using it for background noise. So fortunately today there's no background noise within the house. So because there's no background noise, I said that let me just try to speak without anything on my ears, and so that I can see how the lesson would go and if I'm audible. But if I'm audible and loud enough, it's awesome and fine. But on that note, I would like to say good morning to everyone. A happy Tuesday to everyone. And I hope everyone is excited. Rules are keep your videos off, listen very well, and always pay attention. I'd like to thank always for the students who always send me, or let me rather say learners who always send me their homework, so I can see how far you guys are. Are you understanding? Are you not understanding? Do you have a problem? Don't you have a problem? Etc. Wow. My friend over here decided to move. Yep. There's a small problem. It decided to move. It's fine. Now, like this, what happened? Right? Right. It's fine. It's just a small mishap. Let's do this. No, just a small mishap. Let me quickly fix it. It's just a small mishap. Just a small thing. It just got out of the window. I don't know what happened. It's just a small mistake. Let's just give it some time. Just decided to give us a problem today, so it's fine. These things do happen. It's not something that we're gonna worry about. Let it just give us. Let us just give it a few seconds to wake up a bit, but it's fine. Let's talk. The lesson today, what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be focusing on data handling as we've been doing throughout. That's the important thing. We're going to be looking at data handling. And that's the crucial part that we're going to be looking at. And we're going to be looking especially at the bar graph, because what I saw yesterday is that I saw that some of you guys were not sure and some of you were sure that you understood the bar graph. So what I said to myself was, whenever I plan a lesson, I have a very long conversation with myself. And I said to myself, Chiponosio, what would be best in terms of the lesson, right? What would be best? Do you continue without letting them understand, or do you take some time for them to understand? So I said, you know what? Let us have Tuesday and let us focus on bar graphs only, right? So we're back on. Let us focus on the bar graph only. Why? Focusing on the bar graph, it helps us now see how best to improve the lesson, because right now, what's the challenge with the bar graph is that it's new. Some of you might not know the bar graph. Some of you might know the bar graph. So it's very important that I give opportunity to you guys to know the bar graph. But I wanted just to go back to the previous one. Let me just pause the share. Right. There's a small mishap over here with my PC. Right. Let's resume. Let us resume. And let us just get into the lesson. Let us get into the lesson. That's fine. Right. So we are speaking about the bar graph today. Sorry about earlier on. Think my PC just went a bit crazy, but it's fine. So we are speaking about the bar graph, right? We are speaking about the bar graph, and we are looking at the bar graph and everything about the bar graph. So let's understand the bar graph, right? So I'm going to explain to you guys what the bar graph is. We're going to do a bar graph together. After we do a bar graph together, we're going to see, after we do a bar graph together, we're going to see how it works by actually doing it. So on a bar graph, let's understand the bar. At the bottom, what do you have? At the bottom, what do you have? You have the different, how can I put this? You have the different, what's this? Items that you're dealing with. That's the bottom. Now, what can happen is, that's the one that we normally meet every day. You've got the horizontal line, which is the straight line, and you've got the vertical line. That's what we call the bar graph. It's two lines like this. Now, what makes it us call it a bar graph is that it has bars. These bars are the one that gives it the name of the bar graph. That's where it gets its name from, that we're dealing with bars. Compared to the pinto graph uses what? Pictures. Here we're using bars. Now, these bars are put according to what? Numbers. So normally these numbers are the ones that tell us how much each bar is. Right. So if this is a survey, we're looking at votes. If students vote, normally the highest number here is the total number of students, or the total number of
sorry for interrupting you. Now you can't see the PowerPoint.
You can't see the PowerPoint.
No, it's only showing the folder with the PowerPoint in. You must just share the screen with the PowerPoint.
Is it fixed now?
Yes.
It's fixed.
Yes, you can see it now. Thank you.
All right. All right. Sorry about that. I'm wondering what's happening, but it's fine. So as I was saying, that in a bar graph, as I hope we can see now, we just had technology sometimes makes mistakes, but in a bar graph, we have, I said, the horizontal line, which I hope we can all see. Changing, right. So we have the horizontal line, which I hope we can all see. Then we have the bars, right? We have the bars. The bars are the ones that show us to say, these are bars. These are the ones that show us to say that there are ones that are put against these. Remember I said that, okay, let me start. It's from 0 to 100. So we know that with this bar graph, there are 100 students or people who voted, right? This shows you the highest number of whatever the bar graph is speaking about, right? Now, in the bar graph, at the horizontal line, it shows you to say, no, we're speaking about fruits. So you're going to have the names here of every fruit. If it's on the vertical line, the other one is numbers, you're going to have the names. Whatever you're speaking about comes there. Let's just go to a very nice example. Yeah, right. Here we're speaking about planets, right? Planets, a class was voting for planets, right? So here we're speaking about planets. A class was voting for planets. As they were voting for the different types of planets, or talking about the planets and all of that, all of that, as they were voting for that and talking about the planets and all of that, they were, we take that they were 16. students because the last number had 16, right? And you'd find that at the bottom row, as you see, you've got all the names of the planets, right? The vertical line here. Now, the vertical line that we're speaking about, because on the horizontal line, you've got all the names of the planets, right? All the names of the planets. On the vertical line, you've got the total number of people who voted. So if they're going to tell you a new class selected planets they want to visit, etc., the votes here are the amount of people who voted or the highest number there is, right? But that's other information. But what you must know about the bar graph to identify it is that the one side has everything that you're going to talk about, and the vertical line has the highest number or number of votes for or how they count. Because normally, let me go down. Normally, when they count, they can count in twos, as you can see here, or they can count from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It depends on the bar graph that you're dealing with. This bar graph specifically wanted to count in twos, right? So we've got numbers one side, names on the other side about what they're speaking about. The names of what they're speaking about. These bars are telling us when we're looking at those numbers, whatever the bar graph is speaking about, when we're looking at those numbers, for example, if we're looking at Mercury and we're looking at those numbers, this bar is telling me that Mercury got 8 votes. So when we're looking at these numbers here, the bar is telling me that Mercury got 8 votes. That is what's happening with the bar graph. The bars are telling us, because on one side of a bar graph, you have the names of everything that whatever we're talking about. On the other side of the bar graph, you have numbers. The bars is what brings them together. The bars is what brings the numbers of what we're speaking about and the names of what we're speaking about together. So if we're speaking about votes, which goes with the numbers, and we're speaking about planets, the bar is bringing the number and the planet together. The number of votes and the planet together. That's how we see, how we study, how we understand a bar graph. I hope we are together. I hope we are together. I hope we are together. That's how we see that a bar, how the bar and the number are working together. It's with the it's in the bar graph to say that the bar in a bar graph is bringing together the number and the votes. That is what's happening, right? Are there any questions for now? I know we had a technological mishap. It happens. Let's put that aside. But are there any questions for now in terms of a bar graph? Because I want us to go through this very carefully, step by step. I want you guys to understand. Remember, what's important to me is that you understand. Anything else is we can put it up for later. But one thing I want you guys to is to understand. I want you to understand. I do apologize for the technological mishap, but are there any questions for now? Normally, I don't ask for questions, but I want you guys to understand. I want you guys to understand where the numbers are coming from and where the bars are coming from, where the names are coming from. Remember, the names are what we're speaking about. That's why in a bar graph, we'll always speak about a group of things. I don't speak about fruits. Why? Because in fruits, we're speaking about specific fruits, right? Planets, specific planets, names of people in a class. You understand? A group of things that have different things within them. If I'm speaking about planets, then I know I'm speaking about Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, right? That's under planets. Then when they say the numbers, what numbers? Then you say, no, in a class, we're voting for planets. Okay, so on this one side, you're gonna put in the numbers. And then Sometimes they'll put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or count, but it will always be in order. But they'll maybe sometimes count in twos to say no. But looking from 0 up to 16, there were 16 learners, so we're going to count in twos. Right. Then we go to the names in the bar graph. The names in the bar graph are the ones that help us to see that when we're speaking about planet, how many votes, because this is what the bar helps us with. The bar helps us identify how many votes did each planet get. So this bar connects the planet and votes. So now I want to ask, are there any questions? I mean, are there any questions right now? That's what I mean to say that. If you are not getting this, are there any questions that we can clear up now about a bar graph? Does everyone understand the bar graph? One thing you must capture in your mind is this one. All right, so I see I've got 2 questions. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Sir.
How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good. What's your question?
My question is, why isn't... I was just asking that I understand what you were saying.
You understand?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
All right, awesome. As long as you understand, it's fine. Right, so if you guys are understanding, it's good. So one thing I say, I want to repeat myself so we can understand the bar graph, is that the bar in the bar graph brings together, this is what you must understand. So, and I'm going to show you answers for the one. I don't know what really happened with my PowerPoint. I had made some changes earlier on, but it's fine. It's technology. Right. Earlier on, that it went quickly. Earlier on, I showed you the bar graph, right? Earlier on, I showed you the and all right, I showed you that it can happen that you either have the numbers on the vertical, the names on the horizontal, the names on the vertical, the numbers on the horizontal. What's important is you understand how does these names or items or I don't want to say subjects, but how do the names work with the numbers? That's what's important. What's important is to know that how do the names work with the numbers? That's what a bar graph is. A bar graph, that's why it says a bar graph is a graph using bars to show quantities or numbers so that they can be easily compared and met. So the bar graph is we're looking at a particular topic. Let's create a topic in our minds. We're talking about fruits here, right? They said that there's this class that has 100 students. Or looking at this one. There's a class that has 100 students. Out of the students decided to vote for fruits that they like, right? This is what this is something that we're just creating now with the information that we see here. So the class decided, no, let's vote for fruits that we like, right? So some said, no, I like a mango, apple, grapes, banana, orange, as long as a fruit, right? So on one side, the teacher is going to write 0 up to 100. Now, because in bar graphs, it's going to be very tiring to write 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's why sometimes they count to say, okay, no, let's count in 20s, right? So we start at 0. Then because we're counting in 20s, because we're counting in 20, Our first number is going to be what? 20. Because we're counting in 20s. The other one we saw they are counting in 2s. So the first number is going to be 2. The next number is going to be, what is 20 plus 20? 40. What is 40 plus 20? 60. What is 60 plus 20? 80. What is 80 plus 20? 100. Right. So it's to make it shorter. Right. Then they said, okay, students or learners, how many of you like mangoes? They raised their hands. They were counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 20. Then they said, okay, 20 like mangoes. So that's the bar showing for mangoes. So out of 100, right, 20 like mangoes. Right, out of 100, 20 like mangoes. Out of 100, 60 like apples. Out of 100, what's this? 80 like grapes. Out of 100, then it stops halfway here. To say it passed 40, so it says, look, I passed 40, right? I passed 40, but I'm not 60. So what is the halfway of 20? It's 10. So that means that here it would be what? It would be 50. The in-between would be 50, right? So out of 100, 50 like oranges. That's a bar graph. A bar graph is just trying to explain if we're looking at a particular, how can I put this? You know, I don't want to make it sound a bit too hard. But if we're talking about a particular thing which deals with particular items, who likes, you know, you're comparing numbers of votes or numbers of things with those individual things. That's why in a bar graph, it's easy to see, to say that I want to see how many people like oranges. Then you're like, oh, 40. That's what a bar graph does for us. It helps us arrange the information individually. You understand? And then I said, it's called a bar graph because we're using bars. Let us go to that question that we did earlier on. I want us to go. Yes. Let us try answering the questions here. Let us try answering these questions, right? Let us try answering these questions. And then then I will be able to tell if we're understanding or not. Let us try answering the questions. And then I'll see if we're able to understand. So I'm going to give you guys some time to try it on your own, because I see that you understand. Then we're going to do it together, right? I would have preferred the, okay, we're going to do it together. And then after that, we'll move along like that. So let us try. Let us try, let us try, let us try. We'll give you guys 5 minutes in total. 5 minutes in total to try it. And then I'll explain by question by question. Tomorrow, we're going to try more examples together. But today, we're focusing that you guys must understand. I am not going to leave this thing until you fully understand, all of you. Plus 80. Right, so yeah, start from number 1 in this question here, and then we move along that way. We move along that way. Start from number 1 and then we move along that way. We move along that way. Start from number 1 and then we move along that way. Yes. I will explain more as we move along. I got some questions there, so I'll explain more as we move along. Yes. Start from number 1. Please start from number 1. And yeah, I gave you guys 5 minutes. We'll do it together. And then tomorrow, what I'll do tomorrow's lesson is that we'll do more examples. As many examples, but start from number 1. Start from number 1. And then we do it together. And please, guys, if you don't understand, please do speak to me. Start from number 1. You've got about 2 minutes left. Then we'll do it together. See how you go about it, and then we'll do it together. We'll answer it together. Especially this question more. How do you determine how something got something more? That's a very, very nice question. So these ones here, when they say more, when they're looking at more, what are they saying? You know, because this is what we're going to also discuss after you guys have done answering. You've got 1 minute left. You've got 1 minute left. It's good if you don't understand the question. It's good if you don't understand the question. 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, let's go through it together. Who can, all right, let me try it. Let me try and explain it. And then you guys, I'll ask you guys if you can add or not. Right, Mercury. How did you get Mercury's answer? As I said, you'll come here to the graph and then you look, oh, under Mercury, how many? It goes directly there to say, no, Mercury, when we're speaking about Mercury, we want 8. Neptune, same story. We look at Neptune. This thing is counting in 2s. So if this is counting in 2s, the halfway mark is 1. If this is counting in 2s, halfway is 1. So it'll be 0, 1, 2. Halfway here is what? It's 3. Halfway here is what? It's 4. The half of here is what? It's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, it's 5. Halfway of here is what? It's 7. The halfway of here is what? 9. Because this is 2. So it obviously be the what's the it's the number you're getting is that what is between 0 and 2? So what? What is between 2 and 4? It's 3. Right. So Neptune here, halfway that side, it's going to be what? 7 volts. 7 volts. But I want, okay, then we know. Bar graph, I'll explain the next question. Which one got the most? You look at the highest bar graph, 14. Let's go to how many more votes did Saturn get than Uranus? First question is, how many votes did Saturn get? It's 14. Right. How many votes did Uranus get? It's 8. Right. Now, when I look at a question, question number 4, Saturn got 14 votes. That's for Saturn. I'll call it Sat. I'll call Saturn Sat. I'll call it Sat. And then Uranus got how many votes, guys? How many votes did Uranus get? Let's go back. Uranus got 8 votes. So when we're ever looking at how many more, we are subtracting because the question is asking that. I'll call this Uri. The question is saying that there's a difference that you're looking for. And in maths, whenever we look at, whenever we're looking for the difference of something, we subtract. Whenever we look for the difference of something, that's why it says, how many more? How many more? It's looking for the difference to say, between Saturn and Uranus, something has more votes than the other one. But I want to know how many more votes did the other one get than the other. So then you're going to what? Subtract. Then we're going to what? Subtract. Let's see. Who can explain number 5 for us? Let someone come, can raise their hand and explain number 5 for us. The similar way that I've explained it. Let's see if you guys are on the par. Who can explain number 5 for us? Number 5, where they say, how many more votes did Mercury get than Mars? How many more votes did Mercury get than Mars? Who can explain number 5 for us? Anyone? Is anyone able to explain number 5 for us? Anyone? Who can explain number 5 for us? Hello?
Hello,
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. Can you explain number 5 for us?
Yes, sir.
All right, try and explain it.
The answer is 4 more than 3.
Is
It's 4.
how did you get the answer of 4?
How did I get the answer? I counted the numbers going up from 3.
Uh-huh.
That's how I got the answer.
That's a nice way of doing it. All right. Thank you. So what happened is, our friend, what she did was, she said, look, Mars has 3, right? A very, very smart way, by the way. Very, very smart way. Mars has 3, right? Mars has 3. And, okay, I use the way of minus because it's very quick. But she said Mars has 3, and I want to compare it to Mercury, right? Over here. I wanted to compare it to where? Over here, which is Mercury, right? That's what I want to compare it to. I want to erase a few things here because it's looking a bit messy. Yeah, it's looking a bit messy. So Mars is here. I want to compare it to here. And since I want to compare it to here, this side is what? When I'm dealing with Mars, Mars is saying, I am 3. I have what I can say 3 votes. Mercury says, look, I have 8 votes. So if Mercury has more votes than Mars, let's count from Mars. How many votes does it get to Mercury? We can count. So it says 3 here. So it goes to 4, right? Then goes to 5. Then goes to 6. Then goes to 7. Then goes to 8. So she counted up. You understand? She counted up. Let us understand. So she started by the smallest one and said that if I count up from the smallest one, right? If I count up from the smallest one to reach the one that is more, how many more votes did I get there? Or how many times did I count? Not times. Let's not say times. I don't want you guys to think of multiplication. How much more did I count? We can go with the previous question. Here's Saturn. Saturn said to us, Saturn said, you know what, I'm 14, right? Saturn said to us that, look, I'm 14, right? And Uranus said to us, I'm 8. So we can count up from Uranus. Like what I did was I subtracted Saturn, I subtracted Uranus from Saturn because you'd get the answer, right? Right. But there's also this way of this method, which is very nice. You count up from Uranus. So you say Uranus is 8, then the next one is what? 9. Then the next one is what? 10. Remember I told you in the middle, because half of 2 is 1. In the middle is 1 more of the last one. So in the middle, it would be 1 more than the last one. That's why here it's 1. Then here would say that no, it's 3 because it's 2, then 3. Then the next one here would be 5. So if it's like that, that means when I come here, my dear friends, I'm talking about 9. So that starts at 8, then it's 9, then it's 10. Then from 10, it's 11, then it's 12. From 12, it's 13, then it's what? 14. So let's count. We're at 8, right? 8, then it's 9. 9 goes to 10. Sorry, 10 goes to 11. 11 goes to 12. 12 goes to 13. 13 goes to 14. So how many more would be 6? How many more would be 6? You count up or you subtract. You subtract like I did here. I said the 14 minus 8. It's really up to you. But now you have 2 methods. You have 2 methods. Do we understand? Do we understand? I want people to talk to me now about whether do they understand or not before I show the homework. Because tomorrow is when we're going to do more examples. Tomorrow is when we're going to do more examples. But do we understand? Give me feedback, guys. Let me go to our homework. The homework also is going to make you understand. Here's your homework. You're going to count your pencils and pens, and then you're going to create a bar graph. So I want you just to count your pencils and pens and create a bar graph. But question is, do we understand? Let us, we had a very successful lesson. Yes, we had a little mishap earlier on, but we had a very successful lesson. But do we understand? Talk to me, guys, that do we understand? Don't we understand? Talk to me into the chat. Tell me, do we understand or don't we understand? I need to know now so that I can know that tomorrow when we do the examples, because what I want to make sure is that you guys understand. What I want to make sure is the most important is that you guys understand. So do we understand? Anyone, do we understand? Because that's what is important to me. Here is your homework. Here is your homework. I want you guys to talk to me to say, sir, I understand the bar graph. I understand how you went and how many more. I understand it, like, or can I ask, should I make it harder? Should I make it harder? Because one thing I want us to do is to understand. I'm happy that we had a good lesson. It's good, even though, yes, technology does make mistakes sometimes, but do we understand? I want us to make sure that do we understand? Yes, got 2 hands raised. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
I'm good.
I understand it.
You understand it very well?
Yes.
All right. So I've got one person who says that they've understood. Is there anyone else who wants to add that whether they've understood or not? Anyone else? But please write your homework. Ne? I know that you want to tell me that you understand, but you can also tell me in the chat, but please write your homework as well. Your homework is important. Make sure you write down your homework. Hello. Hello. All right. Hello. Please make sure that you guys understand. All right. Hello.
Sir, I understand it.
Hello. You understand it?
Yes.
All right. It's good that you understand. Please tell me also in the chat that do you make sure that do you understand? Are we understanding? Do we get it? This is not our last session. We still have a lot. We're going into term 3 very soon, guys. We're going into term 3 very soon. So we're going into term 3 work very soon. But do you understand? One thing I want to make sure is that you understand. I want all of you to tell me that in the chat right now, all of you must tell me that you understand or not understand so that I can move on to the next side. You can either tell me in the chat, you can also tell me in the raising your hand, please. That's what I want us to, because the lesson today was I want you guys to leave understanding a bar graph and being able to do a bar graph. That's what's important. That is what is very important. This is what is needed. But I hope you guys have written down your homework. This video will be online. It will be available online. under YouTube. And then tomorrow we're going to be doing examples, a lot of examples tomorrow. I love you guys. Stay safe, stay awesome, and stay super students.